What does this painting, this man, and this telescope have in common? The answer is that they all have a story behind them. A very curious, very human story. For as long as us present people remember, we have questioned everything. Elements, behavior, the cosmos, all things that we have sought out in learning about. But where did this all begin? Let's go back a long time ago to around 620 BCE. A boy named Thales of Miletus is born to a mother in Miletus, Ionia. Unbeknownst to the world, he would go on to be credited as the first scientific philosopher in human history. Thales developed the idea that the water is the arche, meaning origin in Greek. He believed that all matter in the universe was composed of water. With modern knowledge, this may seem a bit silly, but this theory was significant in the fact that someone had tried to explain the world as a natural body rather than using myths. The first ever addition to natural law, an idea that had not yet been conceived. Thales' teaching shortly reached a few key figures such as Anaximander and Pythagoras. Although not as philosophical as Thales, they contributed much to science, astronomy, and geometry. The cycle would repeat, with students eventually growing and teaching the young, who would then go on to do the same. This, in addition to new figures arising, set into place a swift development of the academic world. The influence of these thinkers would inspire one of the greatest civilizations created, one with inquiry as a core quality. Athens, Greece, rose to power throughout the 6th century BCE due to figures such as Draco, Solon, and Pericles, who stood as a foundation for the city. The civilization sprung from the pioneers of information. It was the perfect, prosperous mixture. Trade flourished, and new ideas were constantly conceptualized. In time, we saw Athens become the innovative hub of the West. Although prominent, the persistent questioning of the Athenian way of life had not been an issue until one man, Socrates, began to vocalize his opinions and ideas. Socrates, born 470 BCE, was a man who believed everything should be questioned, for the sake of knowledge. As an original and individual philosopher, Socrates' teachings were both praised by admirers and targeted by critics. Unfazed by this, he continued with his critical questioning, criticism of the Athenian state, and self-reflections, which would lead to the birth of a process known as the Socratic method. This gradual, yet continuous questioning allowed Socrates to expose many people of Athens for truly knowing nothing, just as he believed himself. For Socrates, true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. Although valuable to society, Socrates' fierce and ever-evolving questions for Athens and her people sparked distaste within the Athenian assembly. Socrates was tried and found guilty of crimes against the state. The penalty was death. Ironically, this penalty is the one and only thing that could have been of value to a philosopher such as Socrates, as it answered one of the greatest questions he could ask. What are we met with after death? Socrates' teachings would soon become the groundwork for what is now Western philosophy. Despite him never writing or recording a single one of his thoughts, Socrates was immortalized by contemporaries and students such as Plato recording his life for him. The cycle continued with Plato teaching Aristotle, and Aristotle with Alexander the Great, as well as other academics. Schools would be built by students in the Socratic teaching lineage for generations to further their understanding and educate others. Socrates and his disciples had set into motion a global race for development and understanding that could not be stopped. Questioning validity of scientific research is standard practice nowadays due to the constant inquiry of Socrates and like-minded philosophers. The characteristics of scientific discoveries from the Socratic era to now are astonishingly similar. Schools, institutions, environmental agencies, and other academic-related organizations mandate inquiry and peer review when creating their works. Both the scientific and Socratic method include steps of inquiry, self-reflection, and judging the validity of the test. The inspiration of Greek philosophers on human and scientific discovery is undoubtable. Figures like Thales, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle shifted the way we approach our curiosities with lasting effect. From the abstract to the science, past to present, Their efforts to understand us will last until the day we disappear.